in the small, windswept town of Avalon, located at the edge of a rugged coastline, there stood a hill known as Solace Summit. At its peak were two hermitages, each occupied by a saint who had devoted his life to solitude and spiritual growth. The first saint, Elias, was known for his stern demeanor and unshakable discipline. He believed life was a battle to be fought, with each challenge representing a test of endurance. His days were spent in rigorous meditation, and his thoughts often dwelled on humanity's struggles and the suffering in the world. The second saint, Caleb, was his opposite in every way. Caleb was light-hearted and kind, always finding beauty in the most minor things. Where Elias saw burdens, Caleb saw blessings. Wildflowers surrounded his hermitage, and his laughter often echoed down the hill. Though the townsfolk revered both men, whispers of their rivalry occasionally reached the village square. Some believed Elias to be the wiser of the two for his strictness, which inspired awe. Others thought Caleb was the true saint, as his joy was contagious. One fateful night, a fierce storm descended upon Avalon. The wind howled like a wild beast, and rain lashed against the hermitages. A lightning bolt struck a nearby tree, sending it crashing through Elias's roof. Soaked and furious, Elias gathered what little he could salvage and trudged up the hill to Caleb's hermitage, seeking shelter. He knocked on the door, and Caleb, his face glowing with warmth despite the storm, welcomed him in without hesitation. As the storm raged outside, the two saints sat by a small fire, their contrasting energies filling the room. Unable to contain his frustration, Elias spoke up. He grumbled that this storm is yet another reminder of how cruel life can be. The world is a place of suffering, and only through discipline can we endure it. Caleb listened quietly, a soft smile playing on his lips. And yet, my friend, this very storm has brought us together. Isn't there something beautiful about that? Elias frowned. You always see beauty where there is none. How can you be so blind to the hardships of life? Caleb chuckled. It's not that I ignore hardship, Elias. I choose to see it differently. Our thoughts shape our reality. If you focus only on the storm, you'll miss the warmth of the fire, the shelter of this roof, and the company of a friend. Elias scoffed but said nothing. Yet Caleb's words lingered in his mind as the storm continued throughout the night. As the sun broke through the clouds the following day, Elias prepared to return to his heritage. Before he left, Caleb placed a small wooden carving of a bird in his hand. Take this, Caleb said. Hold it whenever you feel burdened by your thoughts, and ask yourself if there's another way to see the situation. Elias was skeptical, but decided to humor Caleb. Back at his repaired hermitage, he resumed his routine of meditation and reflection. This time, whenever his thoughts grew dark when he dwelled on the struggles of humanity or his frustrations, he held the wooden bird and remembered Caleb's words. At first, it didn't feel brilliant, but gradually, Elias began to experiment with his thoughts. When he considered the suffering in the world, he tried to imagine the resilience of those who endured it. When he thought of the storm, he reminded himself of the companionship it had brought. Slowly but surely, Elias noticed a change. The weight he had carried for so long began to lift. His days felt less like a battle and more like a journey. Months passed, and the townsfolk began to notice a change in Elias. His stern demeanor softened, and his once rare smiles became more frequent. People who climbed Solace Summit to seek his wisdom found not a man weighed down by the world's troubles, but one who spoke of its possibilities. One day, Elias decided to visit Caleb. He brought a small wooden carving he had made of Phoenix, symbolizing transformation. As he handed it to Caleb, he said, "You were right. Our thoughts are the architects of our lives. I've spent so long building walls in my mind, but you've shown me how to build windows instead." Caleb laughed, his joy filling the room. "Ah, my friend, the student has become the teacher. What will you do with this wisdom?" Elias replied, "I will share it, just as you did with me. It may help others, as it helped me." The story of Elias and Caleb spread, drawing pilgrims to Solace Summit. These two sages, despite their differences, shared a simple truth: change your thoughts, and you change your life. Elias taught reframing struggles as opportunities for growth, while Caleb emphasized finding joy in the present. Together, they embodied balance, discipline, lightheartedness, struggle, and joy. What was once a solitary hill became a beacon of hope, showing that even the darkest thoughts can become light when viewed differently. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.